live on Facebook and officially live as well on YouTube. So what I want to do is I want to thank everybody for joining us today for another episode of ColumbusBlack.com's Support Black Business series. I'm excited because we have a very, very special episode tonight. But before we even get started, I want everybody to know that is not familiar with Columbus Black. We've been around for 15 years and going on 16. We're an omni-channel platform here in Central Ohio, connecting the Black community to commerce and to culture. Tonight, we'll be talking about the commerce piece. It's about business, right? So we have an amazing lineup throughout the week. However, on Thursdays, we call it Throwback Thursdays, and we have our Support Black Business series where we highlight and showcase Black-owned businesses and what they have going on so that we can support those businesses, right? Hence the theme, Support Black Business series. Well, tonight is special because many of you that have been following us, y'all know that we are actually sponsored by the Ohio Small Business Development Center at Columbus State Community College, right? So with that being said, they have a relationship also with Goldman Sachs. And tonight we have representatives, one from Columbus State Community College, right? Ohio SBDC, as well as Goldman Sachs, as well as a representative from a local company that's involved in their program. So you all are going to get to hear from the people who are actually out here doing it, helping to support our businesses, as well as a business owner who is a part of the program. It doesn't get much better than that. So with that being said, I'm excited for you all to be a part of the show tonight. You will be able to chat with us, obviously, through the chat. So feel free to chat with us if you have a question, or if you have a thought. And then we'll go from there. But with that being said, I want to start off with, I'm going to start off with Mike. So Mike Bowers is with us from the Ohio Small Business Development Centers at Columbus State Community College. And he's been a major supporter of ColumbusBlack.com. So Mike, first of all, I want to thank you and all that you all are doing. But if you don't mind, would you take a moment to introduce yourself to our audience and share a little bit about who you are and what you actually have going on with Ohio SBDC at Columbus State Community?
Sure. Thanks a lot, Kevin. Appreciate it. And, the feeling's definitely mutual. I mean, we've gotten tremendous value out of being involved with Columbus Black and with this particular program. And we're very excited about everything that's happening with this. And, anytime that we're able to, connect in here, I think it makes a big difference. So my name is Mike Bowers. I am the director for the Small Business Development Center at Columbus State. The Small Business Development Center program is a national program supported in large part by the Small Business Administration, the SBA. And we are, is a national program. So there's close to 1,000 SBDCs around the country. We are lucky enough to be in one of the greatest areas to be an SBDC in Central Ohio and Columbus. And we have been able to do a lot of work with small businesses. And the thing that attracts me to the program, and I've been with the program for I think like 18 years, is that we're able to support entrepreneurs all the way from I have an idea and I want to be in business and I don't know anything about business, to businesses that have been up and running and doing different things. And the work we do, we provide advising services so we can connect and really help people work through their issues. And that is free of charge. So that's free of charge to the entrepreneur and the small business owner to really help them move forward. And I wanted to also take an opportunity to mention part of the reason that we originally connected with Kevin on this particular program is that we received some funding from the previous stimulus program, or the two previous ago, I guess the CARES Act back in the spring, to help existing businesses that were impacted by COVID in Central Ohio. And what we really wanted to do is we knew that a lot of folks were hurting and a lot of people were having some challenges. So we wanted to basically increase capacity and bring more expertise to the existing businesses that are having problems. And I wanted to take a couple of seconds here, Kevin, just to kind of share. Since we started the program, we have been able to connect with 1,251 small businesses. And
Wow.
During that, for those individuals during that time, we've actually been able to assist them in securing $1,718,000 in new capital. So
Wow.
again,
That's
in a
awesome.
time,
That is amazing.
yeah, in a time when, people are hurting, I mean, we've been able to actually really assist them, and we've been able to help with new jobs created, but primarily in that particular sector, retain jobs of over 200. So we've been able to actually save, over 200 jobs during that window of time. So the program is going really well, and a big thanks to you and your efforts to help us get the word out and connect with businesses. But we're not done. We've got through the end of September for this particular program that we can support businesses in. And of course, the SBDC is always available for businesses to work with. The SBDC has been in Columbus since 1985, and we don't have any intention of going anyplace. So again, thank you for everything that you've done, and we want to keep having those businesses reach out to us.
That's fantastic.
That is fantastic. That is outstanding, and I love those numbers. We want more of those numbers.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So and I said kudos earlier, but I mean, they always learn, right? The numbers don't lie, right? So
Right.
I appreciate you all taking the step, and then the businesses that you all are helping, the jobs that are being created and saved at the same time. So well done. So we'll keep that going. So listen, what that means, y'all, is that if you're watching this, or when you watch this, you want to hit the share button. You want to get the word out. You want to tag somebody that's a business owner, so that they understand the resources that are actually available for them. This is real. It's free. It's free. It doesn't get better than free, right? Come on, say it with me. Free, right? Okay.
Yep.
So with that being said, thanks again, Mike. So Director with us from the Ohio Small Business Development Centers at Columbus State Community College, and we'll be coming right back to him shortly, but we want to move on to Stephanie. So Stephanie Hall is with us today, right? So Stephanie, I see operations and outreach and operations manager, right?
Yep.
So with Goldman Sachs and Columbus State Community College, as far as Ohio SBDC. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I'll let you. Yeah.
No, go ahead. I was just going to say, no, I work with Mike, in so much as our program is also housed at Columbus State Community College. So we're one of those programs, the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses program. It's a national program, but we're housed locally here in Columbus. And unlike the SBDC, we haven't been around since 1985. We have been in Columbus since 2019. So we're really new to the community. So like you said, I am the operations and outreach manager, kind of overseeing, the day-to-day operations and activities and the running of the cohort here. And we're kind of unique in that the Southeast Ohio portion of the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses program, we're kind of in a collaborative effort with groups of small business owners here in Columbus, in Dayton, and in Cincinnati. So we kind of share faculty in the program and, kind of work to, network small business owners together. I've been with the program since its inception here at Columbus State since 2019. We have graduated 2 cohorts, and we are currently recruiting applicants for our upcoming cohort that starts in September.
I think that my internet connection is I'm dealing with a little Wi-Fi challenge right now. So
I thought it was me. It's normally me.
Yeah.
Me too, Stephanie. I was like, hold up, is
it me?
Right. That's what happens. So here's the cool part is, because we've all experienced it, when it happens, it's like,
I know.
We know what's going on, right?
I used to freak out, and now I'm just like, it's daily life now, right?
Yeah. So with that being said, we'll come back because we want to go a little bit deeper into the program as well.
I got a lot to share.
So Oh, I'm sure you do. So, and with that being said, we're going to move on to Ebony Lancaster, right? So she's a local business owner, right?
Yeah.
Co-owner of, is it Turner Auto, right? So we're going to let her introduce herself, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we're going to want to come back and hear some more about the 10,000 Small Business Program.
Yes. So as Kevin said, my name is Ebony, and I'm the co-owner of Turner Auto Service, where I know it's weird for a female to be in this business, but we service all type of general repairs from brakes to engines. We're located on the south side of Columbus. My co-owner has been owning a business for over 15 years. I just entered the business 3 years ago. And I would say it has been refreshing being in the automotive industry. I have a lot to learn, but fortunately, I'm in a position to give a lot as well. So females love seeing a female in this industry that they can connect with. And I think that's what gives me the passion and keep me going as that business owner. So I'm excited.
That's outstanding. Congratulations. 3 years in the business so far. You said the business has been around for about 19 years?
Over 15 years. Yeah, since 2000.
Over 15 years. Outstanding.
That's great.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Very good. Very good. So Stephanie, before we come back to you, obviously I'm intrigued, and I'm sure others are as well. We want to know a little bit more. So Ebony, first thing is, how did you end up in this particular opportunity? Fill us in a little bit.
Yeah, it's so awesome that Mike is here, because I received the email from the SBDC. I've taken classes and collaborated with them. And so I get this email about this program. I'm like, what is the Goldman Sachs program? And so it's all this information. I look it up. I'm like, oh, okay. Sounds kind of overwhelming, but let me look at it. And so I interviewed with them, and I was intrigued by everything. We literally come out the program, and I don't want to jump the gun, but they help us develop a 5-year growth plan. It's more than I thought it would be. So I learned about the program from the SBDC and taking classes, and now constantly getting emails about different opportunities. And so I applied, and I would say it's been very refreshing. Yeah.
That's outstanding. Outstanding. So with that, right, being said, so Stephanie.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the program itself?
Absolutely. So the 10,000 Small Businesses Program, obviously it's a grant-funded kind of investment program, a training program, really, that we operate across the country, and there are alumni of the program in all 50 states and territories across the United States, and they also have cohorts in Europe as well. But the goal of the program is to work and help entrepreneurs grow their business. So it's not necessarily for those startups or brand new business owners, but more, business owners more like Ebony, who have been in for a while, they know their business. And so what we do is kind of help them realize an opportunity for growth. And they kind of find this opportunity. And as they progress through the program, everything builds on, creating a solid growth plan around their opportunity. So what we do throughout the program, it consists of about 9 modules, and there's different clinics, and we work with faculty from Columbus State, from Cincinnati State, and Sinclair College in Dayton, as well as other guests and, folks that will come in from time to time, to help with different activities that we do. We've had representation from the SBDC, who always comes in and helps us out, and different people from the community. But we kind of touch on different topic areas. So negotiations or marketing, operations, all of these different things, and they kind of build one after the other. But in the end, the main goal of the program is to give these small business owners the tools and everything necessary to help them grow their business, which then creates jobs in our community that then grows the community. So we keep hearing, that small businesses are the backbone of the community. And it sounds so cliche, but it's so true. And especially now, like, as Ebony and I were talking earlier about, having to deal with things during the pandemic, it's been really hard. And so, what we're trying to do is get people in and give them the tools to really grow and succeed in their business.
That is outstanding. That's outstanding. So do me a favor, walk through. So, and I know Ebony was giving us a little bit of her background and how, she got that call. So Ebony, tell us a bit more about your actual experience, right, of being involved with the 10,000 Small Business Program.
Well, my experience was, I would say it was definitely more than I anticipated. The program really stretches you as a business owner. As Stephanie said, you go into the business thinking, I know my business. And you come out of the program like, I have a lot to do. There were moments where honestly, I was in a program, Kevin, and I was like, I can't do this. I mean, the reality of what you think you know about your business and being able to put it on paper and really dissect it, it was like the program really pushed me, but in a good way. Yes, it was often intimidating, but it made me look at the solid truths of what it is to be a business owner. And if I want to grow this business, I had to realize what it's going to take for me to grow this business. Am I committed to grow this business? And was I willing? Because a lot of business owners, we say, yeah, we want to grow, but to grow your business, you must take risks. And so the program it puts you, first of all, we're in a group of other business owners that most were smarter than me, and so everyone is sharing, and I'm just sitting there and you realize that everyone they go through the same struggles as a business owner. So we were able to leverage each other, leverage our advisors, like Stephanie and them is still are today a breath to many of us that we can reach out to. So the program, it does stretch you, but going through the program, you will learn your business in a way you didn't even think that you knew your business.
Outstanding. Yeah. So Stephanie, coming back to you, walk us through. So what does the cohort look like? Walk us through the process, one, to even be involved, right? And what's required. But then what does a cohort look like, and the duration and goals or expectations, all of that good stuff that business
absolutely all the nuts and bolts, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I can totally share all that. And Ebony, you really, before I go on, you just hit the nail on the head on so many pieces there. And, as you were talking, it kind of made me think, when you were talking about how the program made you kind of stretch as a business owner.
Yes.
So the program is sponsored by Goldman Sachs, but we also partner with Babson College in Massachusetts. That is the #1 ranked entrepreneurial college going. And I can tell you, they are revising and looking at and tweaking every module and course, everything that comes back in from reviews and things. So it's a top-notch curriculum. I can kind of say that. And Mike, you were saying that the program that, that you have at the SBDC is totally free. I'm also happy to say that the 10,000 Small Businesses program is completely free as well. So every applicant that is accepted into the program receives a full scholarship to go through for the entire thing. So that, that also is kind of huge. So to kind of get back to your question, sorry, I had to divert a little bit there, because as people were talking, I'm like, oh, and I forgot to tell you this really great thing. So our cohorts themselves, in an ideal world, right, we would be face to face with each other in a classroom, going through it all day. We're not quite there yet. So our last cohort, the one that Ebony was a part of, we held it virtually via Zoom. And, kind of going through it, we've really worked out ways to kind of build on the connectivity, because one of the really, really important pieces from the program's perspective, but also my perspective, is that networking and the group, the peer-to-peer learning and the networking of local businesses that come out of it. That's the one thing that I really think that I personally like the most about this, right, is because you meet other business owners in your own community. And we find that business owners start doing business with each other. And it's like magic. It's magical and it's great. And in the end, it's only going to benefit Columbus, right?
Right.
So the cohorts themselves range in size from, between 20 to 30, 35 people. If we were face-to-face, I think we could accommodate, more than that. But to keep it virtually, we need to kind of close a lid on it there. There's a few criteria for people to apply to the program. So you need to have been in business for at least 2 years. And that's that kind of piece, like, you need to kind of know what you're doing.
Right.
You need to have at least 2 employees. And one of those employees can be you, the business owner. And as of right now, we are looking for businesses that have at least $75,000 in revenue for this past fiscal year. It's been a little higher in the past, but we recognize 2020 has not been the greatest year for everyone, right? So, that has kind of come down a little bit. And I think it also then helps us help those small business owners who need the help the most. And so, we've kind of taken some of these criteria, and all of these are kind of flexible too. So, if you maybe haven't been in business quite 2 years, but you meet the other, criteria, apply. We're gonna look at all of these things holistically. So it's not like, well, I don't meet A, so I'm not going to do this. So the application itself to apply, the website you can go on and apply online. It's 10ksbapply.com. And the application is fully online. It's a 2-part application. The first part takes maybe 5 or 10 minutes. I don't know if you remember, Ebony. I've not personally, done the application. I've read applications, but
it shouldn't be any more than 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah, the first part of it is pretty quick. And then after that, if you meet our criteria, we kind of invite you to submit a second part that's still easy, but it's a little bit more detailed. It's all information that you as a small business owner would have. Your tax documents, the legal documents, certification of entity, that kind of thing. And we invite you back. And once you have filled out all of, submitted all of those parts of the application, we'll invite you in for an interview. And then after, once we have conducted all of our interviews, then we admit our class and we get going. So right now, our cohort is scheduled to start the 13th of September. And our application deadline is the 26th of May. So it seems like it's a ways out there, but it's not really. It'll come fast.
Yeah, the time flies.
Oh my gosh, it does. I know.
Yeah. All right. So can you do me a favor? That was a really good breakdown of the process and what it looks like. Can you go back to the website to apply again, just so in case anybody missed that?
Sure. The website is 10ksbapply.com. 10ksbapply.com.
Okay. Just that easy. So
just that easy.
Just that easy. So let's do and
Perfect,
that's yep. So with that being said, I want to swing back, right? So we have Mike here. So Mike, do me a favor, help us understand, like, for your business owners that you all are assisting, right? And how does that relationship look, obviously, with the 10KSB program? Obviously, Ebony kind of shared her experience, but give us an idea so that even members that may be involved right now with Ohio SBDC at Columbus State Community College may not know this in detail, as well as those that may not know why they should be involved because of the variety of resources that you all provide. Can you give us some more insight in regards to that relationship?
Yeah, absolutely. Like Stephanie said, I mean, she joined the program in 2019. 2019 was the first year that Goldman Sachs chose to bring it to Central and Southern Ohio. So, I don't remember how many sites there were prior to that, but I know that it had been offered some in Cleveland, but, it wasn't really, available here. It wasn't available in Cincinnati, Dayton, or any of those types of things. So, we were really excited when the opportunity for this program came to Central Ohio, because I knew that it was going to make a big impact for the entrepreneurs that stepped up and chose to apply and work their way through the process and get accepted, because, you know, it is a really strong program. And it is, like she said, I mean, the curriculum's out of Babson College, which is, you know, what, like she said, one of the top business colleges in the country. But it's also taught by faculty at Columbus State and other colleges here. So the individual that goes through that, regardless of their background, you know, maybe they've got a PhD and have gone through all the college work or something like that. Maybe, you know, they don't. I mean, you know, and, you know, this is an opportunity for them to get, you know, a really high level of expertise, both on the curriculum side and the instructor side. And there's also, for the particular program, there are business advisors built into the program that work with them, support the small business through the program. So as Ebony was saying, you know, there was a lot there and she wasn't sure that she was going to be able to pull it off. Well, if you get in the program and you want to, you're easily going to be able to pull it off because of all the support mechanisms built in there. And, you know, and then as I looked at this when we first started having conversations about it, and then obviously the first cohort was live, and we had 5 or 6 SBDC clients that went into that program. The last one here in Central Ohio was virtual, and you know, we had SBDC clients go into that. And I was really happy to see that, because these are individuals that said, you know, I'm really serious about taking my business to the next level, and I'm willing to put in the work in a classroom setting that will allow me to better understand my business, my customers, my market, and where I want to go. And that's what you really need right now, because what, you know, Kevin, you saw it, I saw it back when a year ago, when all the COVID stuff started, right? And, you know, the EIDL came out from the SBA, the PPP, the grant program from the county, the state, and all that. Businesses weren't ready. You know, they didn't have their taxes. They didn't understand their business. They didn't understand what was going on. And, you know, we're a year into this now. There's still opportunities for recovery and relief opportunities. And, but you got to know your business. And if you don't know your business, you're not going to be able to take advantage of these types of things that will help you grow, even coming out of this particular pandemic. And the 10,000 Small Business Program is a huge opportunity for folks, and it's priced right. You know, it's not going to cost you anything except for the work that you're going to need to do. And Ebony will tell you there's a lot of work to it, but it'll do that.
Yeah, sorry, but no, Mike made a great point, because as much as when I looked at him, like, oh my God, this is a lot. And as much as it stretched me, I think it's very important for people to know that the advisors and even your peers, they're not going to let you fail. You're going to make it through. If you're committed, you're going to get through it. And it's very rewarding. Like, I love Warren Buffett. I never thought I would get to meet with Warren Buffett, but as a scholar in the 10K SB, I've got to sit and have a conversation with Warren Buffett. So
nice.
Yes.
It's cool. No, but
so I'm excited. But those are some of the opportunities that the program give you, you know, to have exposure. You know, we went to Storm the Hill, and we didn't physically go there, of course, but we were able to talk to our local leaders and tell them what we needed as small business owners. So it's very refreshing. I would say, if you're really serious about growing your business, then you would definitely want to take a part of the 10K SB program.
Yeah, Ebony, you made a good point there. And I don't think I touched on it quite enough, but when when scholars are admitted to the program, what we do is everybody that goes through has a business advisor for the duration of the program. And I can tell you they are 110% dedicated to making sure that their scholars finish that program. And, we are really fortunate that we have some wonderful business advisors, both with our program and in the SBDC. And, the partnership that we have with both of these entities being at Columbus State has been really fantastic. Just that support is wonderful. But like you said, the business advisors, you're working peer-to-peer with other scholars that are in your cohort in small groups. So there's accountability, there's support, there's, those people that are, kind of motivating you and then just, watching the ideas that just come out of the casual conversations because you're, working with each other so closely. It's inspiring. It really is. Sitting on the other side of it, right? As a non-small business owner, it's super inspiring.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So listen, I'm gonna jump in here for a minute because I'm listening to all of this amazing messaging that you all are sharing. And as a business owner and someone who's trying to help other businesses to grow, and I do a lot of mentoring and helping out. And one of the things that I've said and I've seen as well is that, especially for the Black community, a lot of Black business owners haven't necessarily had the support, not just financially, but the mentoring, right? And the knowledge base of somebody who knows how to say, this is how you do this, how this is where you can avoid some roadblocks. This is what you need to have set up. And Mike, you mentioned it, and last year was a wake-up call for a lot of business owners, right? Including myself, right? Let's just be transparent about it. No, I didn't have everything in order like I should have in paperwork, and some people were further off than others. And the ones that did have everything set up, we had them on this show, and they talked about it, right? They talked about how easy it was to, submit the application for PPP and get funded, where others, guess what? Couldn't do that right away and didn't have the banking relationships. And, to find out about Ohio SBDC and what you all are doing, and then to find out about this program, Stephanie, I think it says a lot, right? And then to hear Ebony literally share her experiences, right? Like, I would just say, take heed, y'all, just listen, right? But now apply, take that next step, right? Mm-hmm. If you fall within the criteria, which I want to come back to this one too in a minute, Stephanie.
Yeah.
So apply if you fall within the criteria for this opportunity to truly grow, not just your business, but I could tell individually, you're going to grow as a person. So I love what I'm hearing. So Stephanie, talking about the criteria, right? You went through that.
Uh-huh.
So the 75,000, which is normally I think 100,000, right?
It's normally 150,000.
Normally 100. Wow. So
it's normally 150,000 for the previous years, but that has been it has been considerably reduced. People don't have the same kind of revenues, and that's in no way representative of the businesses that they have, right? It's the situation that we've all gone through. And I nobody feels like anybody should be penalized or denied an opportunity because we've just lived through like the worst year ever.
Yeah. So, and one of the things that I picked up from that too is, a big component, you talked about the peer-to-peer piece of it, but then relationships, we all know is all about people and relationships, right? It's not necessarily always access to funding or capital, it's access to relationships to open up those doors. And it sounds like that's a major component of what you all are looking to build.
It is 100%. What we're looking to build, and we go through and we look at where people are coming from and how businesses can fit together, and we know we have the information for the people in the cohort, so we can kind of see oh, you're working on this. Did you know that this person sitting over here at this table can do that thing, and connecting those people together. And just with we have been very limited in the connectivity that we've been able to do in Columbus, right? So we started in 2019, graduated a cohort, and then the world kind of went on lockdown there. So we're kind of a secret in the community. I know that I've heard Mike say the SBDC is one of the best kept secrets in Columbus. We're right there too, right? Columbus State's got it going on in terms of business opportunities.
Nice.
So just being able to get out and let people know what we're doing, because then we also try to facilitate needs, throughout the state. Like, we're really fortunate. So, 10,000 small businesses is nationwide. There are programs, and I believe 17 other cities. I should know this off the top of my head, but it's, under 20. But the state of Ohio has 4. We have, sites operating in Cleveland, Columbus, Cincinnati, and Dayton. And we all talk to each other. So, we're always looking to, what can we do to work together to boost businesses in Ohio? And, these things take time, and I think we're getting there. And the more people that we can put through the program, the larger these networks become. And yeah, so that peer-to-peer for me is just, it's fantastic. I love seeing people go in, come out with new ideas and come out with new business partners. And, we had in one of our cohorts, we had an architect who is now helping to design a building for somebody else who is expanding, or, construction, all of these overlaps, and, it's all in our community. It only benefits all of us.
Outstanding. That's good stuff. So what I want to do is I want to actually come back to Ebony. So Ebony, if you said, speaking to an audience that may have an interest, if you said, hey, here's 1, 2, or even 3, but key things that I actually took away from going through this process in the program, what would you sum those up to be?
I would say what I took away most was that you have what it takes to succeed. I think often as a business owner, you're intimidated. Like I said, when you see the program curriculum, you're like, wow. But once you get in there, you begin to work with your advisors and your peers, you realize I can do it. So I think that was one of my biggest takeaway was I had a lot to do, but I was doing a lot right. So that was very refreshing. I think I was able to kind of do a deep dive into my marketing strategy. I knew what I wanted to do to grow, but my peers, as Stephanie said, they actually helped me to expand on my growth plan and things that I couldn't really see. Like I feel like I was thinking kind of small, and then when I began to share, they're like, "Oh, well, what about this and what about that?" I'm like, "Whoa!"
Wow, yeah.
So that was very refreshing. I learned a lot. I would say, and most is my network. Like, I've been able to go through the program, and now one of my peers is my accountant, and I'm working with like we really help each other, and knowing that we can reach out at any given moment, like even to applying, hey, Ebony, did you look at the Facebook grant? And we just kind of help each other out, So I would say the network is definitely one of the strongest benefits of the program.
That is awesome. Awesome. All right. Thank you for sharing that. So as we get ready to go toward our final phases, I want to go around the horn, right? So Stephanie,
yeah.
What's next? Like, so next steps, right? So you talked about the application. The process started March 1st. Yeah. And so walk us through what is next steps for you all, and what are you expecting to get out of this next cohort and beyond?
Yeah. So this next cohort, we have, because we're not sure where we're at in the environment. So I can say our next cohort will be virtual. As much as we want to be face-to-face, we want to do it in a safe manner. And, I think it just, kind of helps. So I can tell you that we'll be virtual. We are accepting applications until May the 26th. So I will be working with people, any questions, I'm happy to talk to anybody at any time. So hit me up. Taking questions, working with people to apply, and one of the things too that I should touch on, quickly is as we go through this, because we do have the SBDC as a partner here on campus, one of the things and we haven't been here long enough, but one of the things that Mike and I have talked about that we kind of see happening is, we have businesses that might apply that might not quite be there yet or ready yet. Well, fortunate for us and for small business owners, we have the SBDC, so we can work with them to help get people to where they need to be and kind of check back in, right? And make sure, so, you might not, have been in business long enough or quite have the revenue. Well, I've got somebody here who's got resources that can help you. And, I'm going to check in on you in a year and we'll see where, we'll see where you're at. So, I think that kind of also comes back then to community networking too, right? And just kind of, keeping everyone together. So anyway, we'll be accepting applications until the 26th of May. Okay. And after that point, as it goes on, as we go through the process, once you submit that first part of the application, I'll be getting those personally and kind of looking through them. And, within like a week or two at the most, you can expect to hear from me with, the follow-up on, thank you so much. Please, here's the second part, this is what we'll need for that. So, we're trying to get some of these things through and set up so that we can set all of our interviews for the beginning of August. So I believe it's August the 2nd will be our interview date. All of those interviews are handled virtually. It's not like a job interview or anything like that. It's more of a conversation, nothing. I hope that that's the way your experience was, Ebony, but it's not anything to be like nervous about. We're all like super nice people.
Nice.
And so then after the interviews, we kind of get that class together. We work with Goldman Sachs to determine who's going to be in our final group. And then we reach out and let people know, like, yay, you're in, are you still wanting to commit to this? Because it is a commitment. And Ebony touched on that too, right? It's a lengthy commitment. We start the 13th of September and we run through, I believe it's December 15th, mid-December. And it's, it happens weekly. We meet Monday mornings for, an hour and a half or so, and Friday mornings for an hour and a half or so. And then there's work that happens like during that week. So you'll have meetings with business advisors or, a paired partner activity. There's some things that are required, but then a lot of that, depending on who you're working with, you can kind of schedule that on your own time. So it's not quite as dictated and regimented as it might be otherwise. And then graduate in December and you become one of the alumni. Goldman Sachs has, the 10,000 Small Businesses Program has instituted an app where all of the alumni from all of the programs across the country are able to connect and talk to each other and look for, people to do business with. So it's not just,
that's powerful.
It's not just a community. It's not just Ohio. Depending on what your business is, like you can find partners, nationwide. You can get, answers to questions nationwide. It really is like turning you on to that local network and a national small business owner network.
And even within the app, there's different groups. So if you're just looking for a group of minority business owners, or
absolutely,
architects, or whatever type of specialty, you'll find those also are in the group. So it's really good to network. You'll be surprised what you could find.
Yeah,
that is awesome. That's powerful in itself, and the reason why people should be applying right now. So remember what they say. They say your network is your net worth, right?
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
The more powerful your network is, the more your net worth can be if you use your network the right way and leverage it, right? So that is critically important. So thanks for sharing that as well. Okay. So with that, so Ebony, one of the things that we do right during this time is this is a Support Black Business series, and it wouldn't be what it is if we didn't take the time to advocate for our business owners. So would you mind telling us a little bit more about your business so that those of us that can and want to support you can support you?
Yes. So you can find us online. We're TurnerAutoservice.com. We do have a Facebook page. We're located off of South High. We service both foreign and domestic vehicles, as well as fleet service vehicles. So that's actually one of my growth areas. I'm looking to grow my fleet services. So just bring all your vehicles to me.
Nice.
But we also, one of the great things about Turner Auto Service, and I'm not just saying it because I own it, but we are a small locally owned business, but we offer a 24-month, 24,000-mile nationwide warranty. So when you come to our location, you're not You know, you're not like, oh, I get my car fixed if it breaks down in California and you just paid us. We have a sister location there that can service those needs. So we're part of a TechNet, you know, group. And so we work really hard to make sure that we can give our customers that peace of mind and knowing that their services are trusted. So
that is outstanding.
Fantastic, Ebony.
Can't wait to support.
yeah.
All right. There we go. All right, good stuff. So what's next for you? You mentioned that you're working on your fleet service line, right? So help those that don't understand that, right? What that really means for you, especially for all those that have a fleet vehicle. Help them understand how they can support your business.
Yes, so you often take from the average plumber to home contractor. Sometimes you own 2 and 3 vehicles, and you know, we know as business owners, it's critical that those vehicles are on the road running. And so what we found during COVID, our fleet relationships was what kept our doors open. And so where we want to definitely be there for the community and that individual consumer, we find that we need to strengthen our area of fleet services. We're also in the process of looking for a new building because coming out of the Goldman Sachs program, my growth plan is to grow my service lines because they don't let you.
Let's go.
They really push you, Kevin. So it's like, okay, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna add?
That's right.
So,
That's right.
We're gonna be adding tire services as well as wheel alignment. So to do that, we need a larger building. So we're in the process of looking at that to find another building. And so that'll be a blessing. But in the interim, we're trying to focus on growing those fleet services. And it could be 2 vehicles, 1 vehicle, but being able to have a relationship with us would allow those fleet companies to save on pricing and get those vehicles turned around. So you're not looking for somewhere, you already have that relationship and you are our priority. So.
Outstanding. Did y'all hear that pitch? Y'all better go support her. Take that business. They're growing and expanding, so you better get in now. All right, be a part of the growth. That's exceptional. So I think what's really cool about this is, as you said, right, like you go into this program, you learn so much, you end up with these relationships, you nurture those, but then also from a business standpoint, now you're talking about expanding the breadth of assortment to drive and grow your business. Pun intended, drive, right? To drive and grow your business. So that's really, really cool to actually see it actually happening and how you're applying it. So congratulations, Ebony. Really happy to have you on the show and for you to be able to share this word, because I think a lot of people need to know your own personal experience. Yeah, so good stuff. So Mike, what's next for you in Ohio SBDC at Columbus State Community College? What are you guys foreseeing at this point? You know, the pandemic obviously threw everybody for a loop. Y'all have been helping a ton of businesses. What are you looking for the next 90 days, the next 12 months as we continue to get the vaccine out and go through this process?
Well, I do want to mention one thing before we go. So Ebony didn't mention this because we didn't really bring it up, but you know, you want to have a business owner that's truly committed and is taking, going to take care of you and your needs. You know, she was telling before we went on how during this, pandemic, she actually got COVID herself, and she had to shut the business down for a couple of weeks. And it was the shutting the business down part, which was the worst thing. It was worse than the COVID for her. Yeah. So, that's somebody who's truly committed.
That was a big miss that wasn't shared.
I actually got COVID, and as I shared with Mike and Stephanie, I'm like, the worst part of this is I have to close my business down. Your customers depend on you. When we knew that we were infected, we literally had like 5 vehicles in the shop that we weren't able to get back to the customer. So we didn't have symptoms, but we had to be careful and make sure that we protect our customers. So it was tough because we were closed for a total of 17 days, but they were very patient with us. Yes, 17 days. And it was like, okay, because once you're exposed, I don't know if you all have had it, but you have to wait 3 days before you're tested. Then they want you to stay away 14 days. So it was a challenge, but Yeah.
that's
sure that
definitely,
it was.
and that's something you don't really think about, as with these small business owners and COVID. You think about, here's COVID, and you think about the small business owners being impacted by restrictions and different things like that. But I mean, they're people too, and they get
Human too, yeah.
It's so.
I'm so
So
glad that
it's a
you
big deal.
have made it through the other side of
Right.
that, Ebony.
Absolutely, but
Yeah.
to your question, Kevin, I mean, I think that the Small Business Development Center, it's unfortunate that the country and everybody's going, the world, I guess, is going through all of this, but it's a really exciting time, for us, because we have a lot of opportunities still coming at us. I mean, the American Recovery Act that was just passed, there are funds that are coming to the local area, to the city, the county. I mentioned before, we are having conversations about how, we can leverage those funds to continue to support small businesses. So you're going to see some things there. We are doing more stuff. We're getting ready to start ramping up some work around around business certifications. So we're going to, have a quarterly overview of what it means to be an MBE or a WBE or 8A and all that kind of stuff.
Awesome.
And then we're going to take it a little deeper dive. So folks that are thinking about it, don't really know enough about it, and it's all virtual. So you can sit at your house, you can jump on and pick this stuff up. So it's, we're seeing a lot of cool stuff there. You and I and Otto Beatty have been talking about doing some things around peer-to-peer advisory groups, for Black-owned businesses and underserved businesses. So, I mean, that's something that's on the horizon. So I think we've got a lot of really, really cool opportunities that, we may not have had, 2 years ago, but, there's a lot of stuff that's needed. I think we're able to see the needs a lot clearer now, and bringing that stuff to support these businesses.
That is outstanding. Those some really cool, as you mentioned, exciting things on the horizon.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that you all are doing all that you're doing. I'm glad to be a part of it, and look forward to it. Okay, so good stuff. So hey, listen, I'm gonna drop this real fast for everybody. If you're not involved with Ohio SBDC at Columbus State Community College, you might want to do that real soon. All right. So that's my tip to everybody real quick. I always talk about dropping gems and gem drops. When knowledge gets dropped, I just dropped a gem. So you need to reach out. So with that being said, listen, we have some people that's online in the chat. If you have a question, if you're watching and you have a question, I want you to go ahead and ask a question while we have our panelists here before we wrap up the show. So if you have anything you want to ask them, this is the opportunity to do so. Once again, we know many of you are going to watch this later on or over the weekend or at some point next week. We want you to still tag a business owner, right? That's the cool part. This is a digital footprint now. Tag somebody that you know that needs to hear this, okay? There's so many business owners that are literally struggling and need help. The help is here and it's free, okay? You can't pass that up. There's no excuses. So with that, we're gonna go back. So one of the things that as we wrap up, y'all, is when people come on the show, there's always a thing of, I want to talk about this, and then they forget. And then we're like, I can't believe I forgot that, right? You get off the show, you're like, I can't believe it's the one thing that I wanted to say. So we're going to go back to everybody. Stephanie, you get to kick it off. And if there's one thing that you really want, or if it's something we missed, feel free at this point, take full advantage of the platform and let us know what it is. And if we miss it, go ahead. There you go.
I've covered the points that I wanted to make, but the one thing that I want to say, and I kind of Mike talking, but as well, and just doing things like that's happening. So thank you very much.
So there is a question here, okay, and it says that the question is this for-profit businesses only, or do nonprofits also, are they eligible as well? I think you're on mute. Nope.
Sorry, I'm still like a Zoom novice after all this time, right? Where's the button? It is all nonprofits are eligible as well. And if we've had 2 cohorts go through and we have not had a nonprofit yet. I'm just being honest here. So I don't have personal knowledge or experience to share around nonprofits, but I know that nonprofits are eligible to participate. So that said, if there's a nonprofit out there, please feel free, reach out, shoot me an email. I will find, if I don't have the answer to your question, I will find it for you. That's my promise.
One thing to that point, Kevin, and I'm glad you brought that up, or was in the questions. I think a lot of people, when they have nonprofits, they focus on the mission. And obviously that's why you're doing it, right? The charity and the mission. But, I always like to talk about there's mission and margin. And they don't really think about the margin.
Break it down, Mike. Gems out, here they come.
Yeah, but they don't think about the business part of it. I mean, the better you run that business, the better you understand it, the better you're willing to grow it.
Yeah.
The more you're going to be able to kick to the charities.
Yep.
And that's why you're doing it. So, I would absolutely jump on this opportunity.
Oh, for sure. And I do know that there is a nonprofit that is going through Cincinnati's current cohort. That much I know. So I can even get firsthand information there. But yeah, absolutely. Everything Mike said.
Outstanding. So great question and great answers. That's exciting. And there's some gems dropped in the middle of it. I love it. All right. So with that being said, so Stephanie did her last tidbits. Evan, is there anything that you said getting ready for the show? Like, I want to make sure I say this. Did we miss anything?
Well, not exactly, but I do want to say that if there's any business on here that's not ready to apply for the 10K SB, start with the SBDC. I've taken classes with them, everything from a marketing class to an accounting course. So if you're not ready, because like Mike said, you have to get ready because margin is important for every business. And so start with them and learn those little things. Like I think y'all even give QuickBook classes, Mike, right? So like a lot of businesses that didn't have their, financial statements together, they can take that class and learn how to utilize those tools so that they can begin to prepare those books. Yeah, so definitely look at those.
Very
great point.
That's awesome. And I do see in the chat, right? And it says, Tanya dropped this, Ohio SBDC, no cost business advising with the domain, right? So that's there.
True.
So click on that link and leverage the services. So that's a great segue. So Mike, you've already dropped a bunch of knowledge and gems and all that good stuff. Is there anything that you wanted to say on the show tonight, though, that you didn't get to, or any last words of wisdom?
Well, I think that the biggest thing is, if you are a business owner, at any level of the business, any level of your growth or whatever, don't think you have to do this stuff alone. I mean, the SBDC is here to support. You've got great programs like the 10,000 Small Business Program. You've got great entrepreneurs like Ebony and the other folks that have been on this show that have been amazing, and take advantage of that. Don't think you've got to sit here and try to figure out, I don't know what I'm going to do, and or you can run into a situation where hey, I've got to close because I'm ill, or I've got this and that and the other. There's people that have been through this type of stuff, so don't sit back and say, well, I just don't know what to do, and then creating a bunch of stress for yourself that you really don't need to. So reach out and look for that kind of support, because it's definitely there. I mean, Columbus is a great community to support entrepreneurs and small businesses. And I don't know that this happens enough too. I also want to say that, Kevin, I think the work that you're doing with this series and in the website and Columbus Black in general is making a huge difference in this community, and you should be commended for all the work that you're doing too.
Yes, thank you.
I really appreciate that. I appreciate that. And it goes right back at you. So thank you all so much. Thank you for the gems that have been dropped. Thank you for the support, the knowledge that's being shared. So with that, folks, guess what? Our time is up. This was another amazing episode of ColumbusBlack.com Support Black Business Series with our special guests. I want to thank Stephanie, Ebony, as well as Mike for joining us tonight. And remember, visit us at ColumbusBlack.com, join our mailing list so you don't miss out on great things like this, right? You don't want to miss this type of activity and information sharing. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, as well as YouTube as well, where you can find all of these amazing episodes. So with that being said, we appreciate it. And if you need to advertise, obviously advertise and promote with ColumbusBlack.com. And also, if you are, these are my shameless plugs, right? If you are recruiting, especially if you're recruiting diverse talent, right? Think about it. Small business, growing, you're learning, right? If you're growing, you need talent. We have a job board. You can use our job board. And then we have our virtual Talent Tuesdays where we actually highlight and showcase businesses and career opportunities that they have. It doesn't mean it have to be a corporation. It could be an organization. It could be a small business that needs one more employee because you're growing. You can leverage that Talent Tuesday to get the word out. So with that being said, y'all, I appreciate the opportunity. It's so wonderful. Y'all have a wonderful night and enjoy. Take care.
Thank you so much, Kevin. Good to see all of you.
Yes, thanks.
All right.
Wonderful.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.